Welcome back to Variety Vista. Explore the unknown. Discover the unseen. Today we journey to a land of mist-shrouded forests, towering fortresses, and stories that refuse to die, Transylvania. Whether you're a traveler plotting your next adventure, a history buff chasing layers of the past, or a mystery lover hungry for legends, this documentary-style voyage will take you from prehistoric highlands to modern festivals, unearthing the truths, myths, and rituals that make Transylvania one of Europe's most seductive regions. Imagine a place where mountain ridges seam the sky, where medieval towers prick the clouds, and where every village road seems to curve toward a secret. Is Transylvania the home of vampires? Was it the staging ground for bloody medieval princes? Or simply a crossroads of cultures that gave the world some of its richest folktales? By the end of this video, you'll know the real history, the surprising wildlife, the living rituals, the best places to visit, and which legends are worth believing. Let's begin. 1. Landscape and setting. Transylvania sits almost like a bowl in the arc of the Carpathian Mountains, an immense highland carved by rivers, sprinkled with valleys, and ringed by forested peaks. The Carpathians themselves form a dramatic spine across Central and Eastern Europe, and give Transylvania its wild, remote character. From rolling pastures and honeycombed limestone to deep spruce forests and salt caves, the region is more than scenery. It's a living, breathing ecosystem that shaped its people and stories. Major cities like Cluj-Napoca, Brașov, Sibiu, and the fortified citadel of Sighișoara act as medieval anchors inside this mountainous basin, hubs of trade, craft, and cultural collision. 2. Deep history. Dacians, Romans, Saxons. Long before Dracula, Transylvania was a mosaic. Inhabitants trace back to the ancient Dacians. In the 2nd century AD, the Roman Empire pushed into Dacia, leaving roads, mines, and Romanized settlements. Centuries later, waves of peoples, Hungarians, Slavs, and German craftsmen known as Transylvanian Saxons, settled here, each leaving a language, law, and architecture that still stands. The Saxons, invited in the 12th and 13th centuries to defend borders and develop mining towns, built fortified churches and citadels that transformed the rural landscape into defensive communities. The collective result is a region where Eastern and Central Europe meet, economically, politically, and culturally. 3. Castles, fortified churches, and the stone silence. One of Transylvania's most striking features are its fortified churches, villages anchored by churches that doubled as fortresses. Many of these medieval complexes survive remarkably intact. 7 were inscribed as UNESCO World Heritage Sites for preserving an extraordinary rural defensive landscape. Walk inside and you'll find granaries in towers, arrow slits, and secret stairways. Architecture born of constant frontier anxiety. Castles are another motif, from the soaring Gothic silhouette of Corvin Castle in Hunedoara, a 15th century stronghold with legend and stone intertwined, to other hilltop fortresses. These edifices tell of knights, sieges, and shifting loyalties. They are the stages on which Transylvania's dramatic past was performed. 4. Dracula. Fact, fiction, and marketing. Now the myth, Dracula. Bram Stoker's 1897 novel immortalized a vampire named Count Dracula with a Transylvanian castle. But reality is trickier and more interesting. The historical figure most linked to the Dracula legend is Vlad III, Vlad the Impaler, a 15th century voivode of Wallachia known for ferocious tactics against enemies and the Ottomans. He inspired parts of Stoker's imagination, but Vlad's story belongs mainly to Wallachia, not Transylvania. Many historians insist that Bran Castle, often marketed as Dracula's castle, has no solid evidence tying it to Vlad. In short, the vampire image is a blend of Balkan history, Victorian fiction, and modern tourism. The truth is grimmer and more complex than the legend. If you're a traveler seeking Dracula, The lesson is simple. Visit Bran for a Gothic spectacle and folkloric experience, but explore Poianari Castle and the rugged Wallachian sites for the places linked to Vlad's campaigns. And remember, Transylvania's identity is far broader than any one book. 5. Living culture. People, languages and festivals. Transylvania's magic comes from its people, Romanians, Hungarians, including the Decay, Germans, the Saxons, Roma and more, stitched into a multilingual cultural tapestry. Folk costumes, music and craft practices persist. Open-air museums and towns are living exhibits. The region also pulses with festivals. Medieval fairs recreate armored parades and craftsmen's markets, while modern events like large music and theatre festivals animate city squares each summer. Sighișoara hosts a medieval festival that draws performers and visitors who step back into the age of knights, and Sibiu stages an international theatre festival that turns streets into stages. These events testify that Transylvania's past and present are in constant dialogue. 6. Rituals, myths and seasons. Transylvania's calendar is full of theatrical rituals that mix pagan roots with Christian overlay. Two that travelers often witness around the winter holidays are the Capra, the goat, and Ursul, the bear dances. During Capra, costumed performers, a young goat and companions, go house to house, dancing and singing to bring luck and fertility for the new year. Ursul involves dancers in bear skins acting out a symbolic death and resurrection, a ritual designed to chase away bad luck and welcome renewal. These performances are less spectacle and more living folklore, communal rites that survived centuries of change. Spring brings Mărțișor, not exclusive to Transylvania but widely observed, where small red and white tokens are exchanged to celebrate rebirth and good fortune. Easter, harvest festivals, and wedding customs also preserve storytelling, music, and regional variation that make every village a micro-museum of practice. 7. Nature. Wildlife and unique places. If you love wilderness, Transylvania is one of Europe's last big places. Its forests shelter tens of thousands of brown bears, wolves, and lynx, among the densest populations on the continent. Birdlife and endemic plants also thrive in the Apuseni and other mountain ranges. For unusual geography, visit the salt mines. Salina Turda is a subterranean spectacle, former mining caverns transformed into an underground amphitheater, with echoes, galleries, and even an underground lake. It reads like a Jules Verne set and offers both therapeutic microclimate chambers and surreal architecture. 8. Must-see sites for travelers. Planning a visit. Here are essentials. Sighisoara Citadel, one of Europe's best-preserved medieval towns with pastel towers and cobbled lanes, a UNESCO site. Brașov, a lively market square surrounded by Gothic spires and the Black Church. Sibiu, culture hub with museums, bridges and festivals. Salina Turda, descend into the extraordinary salt caverns. Corvin Castle, Hunedoara, dramatic Gothic architecture and legends of knights. Rural fortified churches and Saxon villages, for authentic medieval landscapes and UNESCO-listed sites. Practical tips. Summer is festival season and offers the best weather for towns. Winter brings traditional rituals but can be cold and remote. Rent a car to explore off-the-beaten-path villages. Hire local guides to unlock hidden histories and translations, especially in areas where Hungarian or German dialects are still spoken. 9. Why Transylvania remains mysterious. Transylvania's mystery is not only in vampires or ruins, it is a product of layered memory. Empires rose and receded here, languages overlapped, and communities adapted, all while forests kept their silence. The result is a place where stories stick to stones, festivals keep old cosmologies alive, and the landscape preserves both biodiversity and human memory. Whether you come for history, folklore, hiking, or a Gothic postcard, you'll leave with more questions than answers. And that perhaps is the region's greatest charm. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Transylvania, please like this video, share it with fellow explorers, comment below with which Transylvanian mystery you want us to investigate next, and subscribe to Variety Vista for more journeys into the unknown. Hit the bell so you don't miss our next documentary, where we'll chase another haunting corner of history and culture. Thanks for watching, and until next time, explore the unknown, discover the unseen.